Hello, my name is John Montgomery, and I do the Italian Car Day show. I've been doing that show for 18 years. You're looking at this year's poster. I wanted to share with you today a little bit of insight on how to do scoring for shows like an Italian Car Day, where you have multiple marks and you have multiple classes and you have all different types of selectable criteria to judge a show for certain groups of cars. This is something that I've developed over a number of years. I've done all kinds of shows over the last 2 decades, including not only Italian Car Day, but a show called Orphan Car Day, a show called Fiat Freakout, which is a national show. And some of the scoring that we do for all those shows is based on some of these ideas that have come together here. One of the things I wanted to share with you is a lot of times when you come to a show, everybody's in a hurry to get on the field. And then at the end of the day, everybody's in a hurry to find out who won. The most important thing that you can do as a show organizer is to try to be just that, to be organized in the way you do your scoring and reporting. So I want to show you an easy way that I've found to count scores faster than any other method. It doesn't take a lot of people, it doesn't take a lot of time, and it's very, very accurate and checkable. So let me just show you how it works. First of all, each particular car that comes into the show is assigned a number. This is a master score sheet. And as you notice, it starts with car number 1, the first car you have come into the show. Car 2 through 20 is on page 1. And then you go to the next page. That's car number 21 through 40, 41 through 60, and so on and so forth. And just keep on going as many pages as you'd like. Now, many shows have probably a couple hundred cars. But here's the interesting thing about this. This is a master spreadsheet. Behind this is the spreadsheet we used for this year's show recently that we had on November 8th. And you can see all the people that have come in. We do this show as a registration at the door. So we do not do pre-registration. When the person comes into the show, if they are car number 1, they fill out their name, their phone number, their type of model, and any notes about the car, whether it's red or blue or green, and what brand it is. Now, over on this side, this is what the participant gets. These are all pre-made, and this is the key to having a quick scoring scenario. This is number 78. We've used all those numbers up to this number for this recent show. So this particular first person here would be car number 1. So if we were starting the show all over again, they'd be car number 1. These are pre-made. So all you got to do is pick up this whole assembly and then sign in that person. You also want to give them a marker and a pen so they can do their scoring. But take a look at the way this is constructed. First of all, you have your model, your year, the owner, special features. People love to talk about their car and different modifications that they've made. And then this is the brands that we have for classification. On the back, we have all of the sponsors that make the show possible. So it usually has websites, phone numbers, and so forth. But look at further, this is the ballot. This is the ballot that each person gets whenever they register a car. As you can see, it's the same listing as on the front, starting with Alfa Romeo, Ferrari, Fiat, Lamborghini. This is the official ballot, and you notice there's a hole in the top. I'll tell you more about that later, but it goes all the way through from each brand all the way down to the special awards like Best Modified and Best of Show. And then you have some special awards, like this is the Kids' Choice Award if you have a child with you or want to vote again for the hottest car. And then here's the People's Choice Award. These are loose and available to anybody who comes to the show. But only those who register cars get this master ballot. Now, the other things about the show, like t-shirt order forms, photo CD order forms, those are attached to this. So when the person gets this, they get everything all together. It's not laying in the bottom of a show bag. It's not available at registration. They get that when they sign in. Also, we give away raffle tickets. We give 5 raffle tickets. Each for each participant. And as you notice, the strip is attached right there. And then when this person gets their placard, we tear off this strip right here. We put it in the hopper for drawing later. And then we give this to the person along with a pen and along with this after we sign them in. It takes less than, well, it takes about 30 seconds to do all this if you're quick with your spreadsheet and the clipboard. And so each particular person who comes in will get this ballot. Each person that comes down the list will sign the register or have someone who can do that legibly. Now, let's say, for instance, you might have a car that comes in. Maybe it's one of the sponsor cars, or maybe it's a special car. We have these little display-only placards made up, and this is for cars that are not going to be judged. They always are in a different color, so no one gets any confusion. And as you notice, it says display only, not the number. So anyway, so once that's done, the participant comes to the show field, they put their car in the field, and they take out their ballot and they vote. Take a look at this ballot. This ballot is got scoring numbers on it that a person has filled out. Car number 13, car number 17, car number 2. It just has to do with our spreadsheet. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything on the spreadsheet other than the fact that car number 13 is an Alfa Romeo and someone has voted for that car. Now, you start to get ballots in, and when you call for ballots, you know, they trickle in a few at a time, and that makes it a very big problem for your scoring director because you don't have all the answers yet in order to solve the question of who has won. So as these ballots come in, what you do is, and I just did some pre-filling out some right here. Let's say I've got 5 or 6 of them, and just have your participant throw their ballot in the ballot box. Okay, now if they vote for something like People's Choice, let's say they fill this out and they select car number 13, and then this one they select car number 52. That's fine. Tell them to just go ahead and throw them in the whole voting ballot box, and you can sort them out. That's the reason why they're color-coded, so you can easily separate them. Don't let the participant worry so much about how to do these custodial duties. That's your job as an organizer. So what's happened? We've had everybody fill out the spreadsheet. I've got several pages of entries here. I've got a bunch of cars on the field. I've got them all has their placard with their car number on there, their designated class, and the model and the owner, which they fill out themselves. You know, that makes it a lot easier too, because let's say you have a person who comes and they bring a different car. Then, you know, a pre-registration scenario doesn't work. This goes on their dashboard so people can vote. So now you've got your ballots in. So let's go back to our box and pick out these ballots. All right. Well, we can pre-sort these very easily. We just take all the orange ballots and put them in a pile, and all the yellow ballots and put them in a pile. So what do we do with these? Well, we've got 4 or 5 ballots here. And notice I mentioned a little earlier the hole. What's the reason for the hole? The hole is to make sure that all these ballots line up together so that each one of them, it's not turned around or upside down, that it is all together. So if you can see through the opening there, then you know all those ballots are good. Now, what I'll do then is I will staple them at the top, and I'll staple them once at the bottom. Now, I've done all that. So you say, what's the purpose of all that? You just took all the ballots and you stapled them together. I've got about 5 ballots here filled out. Well, here's the key to the scoring and makes it easy. Take either a pair of scissors, or take your, if you have a paper cutter, you can do that. I'll try to do this kind of one-handed. But basically what you do is go ahead and start with your first group, Alfa Romeo. Make sure you get it on the line there. Bear with me. All right, right on the line. We take it, we cut it off. Now, here's the Alfa Romeo ballot. I just got 5 ballots for Alfa Romeo, and I went ahead and put them in this bin right here. As you can see, I've done pre-sorting. Here's Ferrari. Got 5 ballots for Ferrari. take my cutter, make sure it's nice and lined up, cut those, throw those in the bin. That goes in the Ferrari. You want to have your bins in order as well. Just make sure you're on your cut line. There's Fiat. Take those, throw them into the Fiat bin, and so forth. All right, we'll go all the way through here. Now, it seems like it's a little bit tedious, but actually it's not. Because what you're doing is you're doing a lot of pre-sorting. So instead of examining one single entry paper 52 times, or how many times over, you're doing these 5 at a time. So here's what happens. Take a look at our results for Fiat from the last show. Here's all of the ballots all together. They all say Fiat. Now, what you do with this is if you have a few helpers around, when you get all your ballots in a bin, you just pick up that bin and you give it to a volunteer and say, here, take all these, pre-sort them, count them out, and tell me which one is one first, which is second, and which is third. And then you want to go back to your master spreadsheet. Let's say this is car number 5. You want to go to car number 5, and you want to go ahead and mark that down that they are the winner for that particular class. So that's how you do it. That is the key to how you do it. Now, you might say, my goodness, this is a lot of paper cutting. It is a little bit of paper cutting, but remember, you have a few volunteers that are with you, a few pairs of scissors or a paper cutter where you can do that quickly, and you just chop all these down, throw them in the bins, and now you've isolated. So what's important about that? Let's say, for instance, someone says, well, my goodness, I thought I had the best Ferrari. Well, okay, you can go to the Ferrari bin and do a recount super quickly, and you can make sure that you have the right owner that has justifiably won in that particular class. So everything is pre-sorted. So as you can see from last week's show, here's all the ones that were counted that I had left over so I can do this demonstration. And so very easy to count them up, very easy to isolate them. Now, one of the key things about this is, remember, ballots don't come in right away. So let's say you've got people on standby to help you out. Well, they could be cutting these ballots and putting them in the bins and have all your pre-sorting done. And then when you get the next 10 or 12 ballots that are come in, maybe some latecomers or whatever, just go and cut them, staple them together, cut them, throw them in the bin, and now you've got 5 more entries for that particular class. So that's how it's done. And once you start to understand this methodology, it is very, very efficient and very easy to do. You do want to have some nice bins just in case it happens to be windy, or if you're in an area where maybe you are not in the best situation. Maybe sometimes I've done shows when it's raining, done shows when it's cold, when it's windy. I also used to do a show called Orphan Car Day, and let me show you something about that. Orphan Car Day was a show that we no longer have it, but same thing. We would pre-number the placards for the cars, and then we would write the class. So it might be Studebaker, it might be Packard, Pierce Arrow, whatever it might be, and then we'd put it on there. And then on the back we had all of our sponsors, of course. This used to be just a great show run by Mr. Kamen. So anyway, he's not doing it anymore, but great guy. And so anyway, one of the things we used to do is we had a number. This is one of the ballots that we had over the years. This ballot right here is what we would hand to the participant, and as you can see, they've got all the different ones. We were doing presidential eras at this time, so we had a Truman era, Eisenhower era, Kennedy era, best of Watergate era, Reagan era, and beyond. And so, of course, this has been quite a few years ago now. But again, take these together, put them together, chop them off, put them in the proper bins, and then you can quickly count them. Now, You may ask, well, does it work for even more classes? Of course it does. Take a look at this ballot that we did for the 15th annual show. As you can see, there's 2 on each side. So you got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. 24 different parameters plus the best of show. So what do you do when you get this ballot? Well, notice there's a little cut right here. Why is that? Well, if these 2 ballots were put together, you see it wouldn't match. So you always have to turn a ballot over so you have an alignment there. So when you cut them, you're cutting AMC and Rambler with another AMC and Rambler vote on the bottom, you see. So that is critical that you do that little indicator there to help you. So again, chop, 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 put them in your bins and let someone count them. It works out really, really fast. It's very accurate. It's traceable, and you can get just volunteers, even kids can help you with this, and it's just very, very simple and easy to do. So anyway, that's how we do it. And of course, Italian Car Day has a poster every year. This is the 2012 poster, which is one of my favorites. But it's a great poster that we do each year by a good friend named Rick Andrioli, who does our posters. And as you notice, all the posters have the sponsor names on the bottom of them. And of course, you know, got to make money to make the show go. So that's the way you do it. Other than that, you know, we have other forms that we make easy. But if you notice, everything that I do is color coded. And why is that? It's color coded so that each particular participant can look at an identifier. Here's a form right here that I've come up with a few years ago. This is our photo CD order form. Everybody who comes to the show gets a photo CD. It's worked into the price. If you notice, the registration number is on it as well. So this particular fellow who's on line 1 filled this out and said he wants 1 CD. I have extra ones of these, so if you don't want to order a CD but want to be on the mailing list or a contact list, that's fine. And again, when that person fills that out, they just dump it in the ballot box. We'll sort that out later. So I always ask the people coming to the show to give me my pink slip so I know exactly how to find you and how to get you a CD. So that's about all for showing you how to make Italian Car Day work or any other car show. This particular methodology could be adopted for any kind of car show, and it makes scoring very, very easy, very quick and efficient. So thank you for watching, and appreciate your interest, and hopefully your next show will be easy and more efficient than ever before. So that's all from Italian Car Day. This is John Montgomery. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.